You know, it's kind of a busy day here. Not only is the NHL Draft lottery going to start up in a few minutes, admittedly, I'm not really paying too much attention to that since my favorite teams don't really have a realistic chance of winning this year like they had in the past. And also, when it comes to the Canucks, there were a few other notable topics that we could go out there and explore. Jeff Marek spoke out about the Quinn Hughes trade price with the New Jersey Devils. The Vancouver Canucks Twitter account got hacked, and yeah, that absolutely did happen. It was ridiculous. I saw the tweet that was posted, Vancouver Canucks hockey linking folks to some crypto wallet and saying they're the first team in the NHL to ever do this. Let's be real, if there was any team that was going to have something like this happen to it, it was going to be the Vancouver Canucks. They've just been so down bad all year. But in this video, what I wanted to do was go out there and talk about contracts, because the Vancouver Canucks have two primary UFAs to be that have garnered all the headlines. Sure, there are some other random guys throughout the Vancouver Canucks organization whose contracts are expiring. We might see the teams say goodbye to Noah Juleson or Phil DiGiuseppe. Nathan Smith is a UFA. Some of y'all might even be like, who the hell is Nathan Smith? Yeah, he's in the organization. But the big guys on the block, Brock Boeser and Pius Suter, the two UFAs in the top six of the lineup. Pius making $1.6 million a year till the end of this season. Brock making $6.65 million a year till the end of this season. The Vancouver Canucks have already negotiated to try to extend Brock Boeser. The reported deal was $8 million a year by 5 years. Brock reportedly wanted 8 by 8 and said no to Vancouver's offer, despite the fact that $8-point-something million is already kind of reasonable for Brock Boeser. In fact, a lot of Canucks fans might even say it's an overpay. Especially when you consider the departure of JT Miller and how that had affected Brock's on-ice production. Brock scored 40 goals as the winger for JT Miller because Miller could give him the puck, Brock could plant his behind in front of the net, put those rebounds in, and score some consistent goals. But after JT's departure, Brock stopped doing that as often. He still had a decent year by his own standards. I mean, 25 goals is nothing to scoff at, but for Canucks fans that understand what Brock Boeser is like when he is playing his best, it's clear that he wasn't playing his best this season, even though he was a little bit hurt throughout the course of this season. Now, for Pius Suter, this is a guy who absolutely came out to play. 20-plus goals for Pius Suter, the shooter, a guy that nobody expected a 20-goal season was even possible from. He had 25 goals, the same amount as Brock Boeser, and 46 total points, which is just 4 fewer than what Brock Boeser was able to accomplish this season. Not to mention the fact that he was a first-line center for a chunk of the year because of the absence of Elias Pettersson, and how he was up to the task. He was a first-line center that didn't get absolutely caved in. He started scoring multi-goal games, multi-point games, and he was on fire for a good chunk towards the end of March there. And Vancouver Canucks fans were all of a sudden saying, hey, wait a minute, this guy's making $1.6 million a year. There's no way Vancouver's going to be able to keep this guy. He is pricing himself out of the city because his play has been so spectacular. He has 25 goals, he's getting first-line minutes, he's not getting caved in, he's looking fine in them. 1.6 is an absolute steal for this Pius Suter, the shooter. So it's been a conversation in this market for the past few months, and for most of the season, a lot of us were asking, okay, is it really possible for Vancouver to re-sign Brock? He wants this amount of money. Pius Suter is playing so well, so he deserves more, but are the Canucks going to be able to give him that money, etc., etc., etc.? The reason we are making this video here today is because AFP Analytics went out there and posted this earlier in the morning. While our contract graphics are not publicly accessible at this time, feel free to request a graphic and we'll do our best to send it out soon. Here is our Matthew Nyes long-term deal. And that is very simple. It is AFP and their contract projections. You can see here that their Matthew Knies contract, they've got it at 7 years, $7.2 million. That's what they project his contract should be based off of the performance that he had displayed in the recent season. So, Q&A style, right? You could go out there and ask them, hey, what do you think about this guy? Can you show us this guy's numbers? And you had a Canucks fan go out there and ask for Brock Boeser and Pius Suter. This is what AFP Analytics went out there and posted for these two Canucks. For Brock Boeser, AFP is projecting him at a $6,849 million AAV contract. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money, man. $50 million for Brock Boeser? Ay, ay, ay. For Pius Suter, the contract projection is 4 years, $4.9 million a year. So, percentage-wise, it's a much heftier raise on Pius Suter. He went from $1.6 million to a projected $4.9. But honestly, $4.9, I was kind of thinking that it would be in that range. A lot of folks, especially in my own personal life, were like, really? You think Pius Suter could get $4 million on the open market? I was like, yeah, the guy was playing first-line minutes. He got 25 goals. He's a 40-point center. That's a guy that could get maybe upwards of $4 or $5 million a year on the free agent market if a team thinks that this 29-year-old can keep that up over the course of a full season. Brock Boeser getting 8.5, I honestly don't know where that number comes from, because when you think about just the goals and how often he was able to score and stuff, I mean, it even says here on the graph that Brock Boeser's AAV projection is trending downwards. Interestingly enough, too, the comparable contracts that are listed are all better players, I would say, than Brock Boeser at this moment. Jake Guentzel, Travis Konechny, Pacioretty, James Neal. These guys, when they were signing their contracts and they were in their primes, they're getting a lot more consistent goal production than what Brock Boeser was able to go off of. And maybe there are numbers that dispute that. Maybe I'm totally wrong here, but just playing it out by feel, okay, maybe it is just me fully getting tainted by my negative image of Brock Boeser's play because of this season's worth of play, but James Neal was a goal-scoring machine. Konechny is a super talented player. Jake Guentzel, we all know the impact that he has had. It's kind of interesting that Brock Boeser is still being considered in that territory after a season like he had this year, where he really just regressed to what he had been accomplishing beforehand. This was one of the worst productive seasons that Brock Boeser has had when you compare it to the 73-point and 40-goal campaign he had last year, and when you compare it to the 49-point and 56-game campaign he had in 2020-2021. Not to mention the rookie season he had, where he was lighting it up on fire with goals everywhere. Brock Boeser has a reputation for being a goal scorer who had 1 or 2 really strong years of goal scoring. And it seems like 8.5 is going to be the dollar amount that we should be able to expect for this guy. Now, AFP Analytics is tweeting this out from the context of, okay, if they hit the free agent market, this is what they could get. And I guess that having this territory of a dollar amount be available for the free agent pool is okay. Like, I don't see the Vancouver Canucks giving Brock 8.5. But if Brock's agent is looking at the market and thinking to himself the same thing that this AFP post is saying, hey, Brock, you could get 8.5 million by 6 years on the open market, then there's no way that Vancouver is going to be able to bring this guy back. It's so interesting to me how Vancouver's response to the whole ordeal was to say, yeah, we're going to let Brock go to free agency, and if he wants to circle back and come back here, then we'll negotiate. It's pretty much saying, okay, Brock, you think you're hot crap? You think you're going to be worth a lot? Go to the market, see what they're going to give you, and then come back to us, because we know you're not going to get what you want. It's a gamble here. It's a really big standoff, and I give props to Vancouver for giving Brock that opportunity to explore his true worth on the market. But if Vancouver's assessment is correct here, hey, Brock Boeser's value is low. We didn't get any offers from him at the deadline. If they think that he's not all too valuable, then maybe there's a chance to get him for cheaper. Who really knows? I don't know. You can let me know your thoughts in this comment section below, whether or not you think this topic is actually substantial in the grand scheme of things for the Canucks. Do you think there's a chance that Brock Boeser resigns here? I'd say probably not. Do you think he could get that $8.5 million contract on the free agent market? I'd say that's a little bit more likely. Pius Suter as well. What are your thoughts on him and his $4.9 million projection? It's getting quite crazy for the Vancouver Canucks, isn't it? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.